Start recording. Okay, this is JD Dishman. Welcome to the Comic Otaku Indie Reviews. This will be a parallel to the mainstream Comic Otaku reviews because this is just me reviewing, basically comic books that are considered indie. Anyway, without further ado, I present you the Ferryman. It's pretty interesting that this book almost reads almost like, it almost feels like, kind of a utopia / dystopia book, but it's kind of different. As you can see, this guy shows up in the beginning and end of the book, despite what happens to him. You know what I'm saying? And then it starts with this one guy over here and this detective guy, and there's also this reporter person, and it's unusual. I mean, it's like, okay, without giving up the story too much, let's just say people who have been implanted with this technology to allow them to survive if they die, like their minds. But however, it's been noted that during the book, it gets a little exorcist-like they're exercising souls out of humans' bodies and putting it into machinery, and it kinda, in my opinion, the soul, because the soul is the mind. Whatever makes our personality us is our soul. So basically, it feels like the Matrix mixed with something else, or Ghost of the Shell mixed with something else, like some kind of creepy zombie / Exorcist or Amityville horror style book. And trust me, that's pretty interesting. I mean, it's a horror book that disguises itself as cyberpunk, and it's pretty interesting. See, they go to this the news reporter and her bodyguard go to into a military facility. This guy is some sort of terrorist, and and he tells them about what's going on. Then they get attacked. Some kind of cyborg guy, and apparently he's killing some people. And he also has this weird, cool Gatling gun and cannon in his hands and stuff. It's pretty awesome. Anyway, the guy from the beginning, he goes to see his brother and his niece who are inside this type of technology. And it's unusual, And his brother tells him he should live, not accept death. He's actually trying to make up enough money to pay for the device, but irony is, his brother's trying to tell him to live his life, Then just accept this false machine place as his, where he's going to be resting. I mean, it's literally a guy talking to his brother, who the brother is already dead, and telling him he should live, Try to live his life the best he can. I'm guessing it's just that he misses his brother and he wants to join him. This guy, and he says he's clean, so whatever happened must have been caused by this guy. Like he was kind of been doing drugs or alcohol or something, and my guess is he died because of it. So anyway, he gets out of the simulation system and goes back into his job. Does a lot of jobs, and in this part, it's kind of cool. Well, what you gotta read yourself is the guy who came up with the technology is officially dead, and his head's been severed, and the wife's hasn't. Basically, the imprint has a limited amount of power on it, and once its power goes out, the guy is officially lost. And let's just say, and the guy says Makes me appreciate life. And it looks like he's being targeted. Irony is, gets attacked by a grenade, and some guys show up, and some kind of weird spectral woman shows up. And it's the guy from earlier, the guy who committed suicide in the beginning of the book, and it's impressive. And okay, it's interesting. I mean, it's like the dead are coming back into life because their souls are no longer in their bodies, and it's a pretty good story. It's good. It's got good action. It's got a good sci-fi plot. It feels kind of like a mix between Minority Report and not Minority Report, Matrix, Exorcist, and all those other movies. I'm guessing the reason they're coming back from the dead is that they don't have they don't have their souls, and so they're almost like zombies or something. They're trying to reclaim them. You know what I'm saying? So I think that terror attack, when that happened to that guy, was caused by the fact that these people are soulless and they're trying to reclaim them. So why is it called the Ferryman? Well, that's the joke, isn't it? The Ferryman is a guy who takes souls to the afterlife. So what happens if the soul was implanted, was taken from through machinery? So it's kind of a good philosophical question that makes a lot of sense. I mean, it's hard to explain, and it feels like something that anyone could read and appreciate. And considering I'm a reborn again Christian, who's a libertarian conservative, which is, yeah, I know, but I guess I tilt between the two, And I'm a comic skater who likes comic books. I mean, seriously, it's a good comic. It's got enough action, it's got enough story, it's got enough drama. I mean, not my cup of tea comic thought, but mostly because I like superhero books. But hey, I don't mind reading something sci-fi-ish and a little anime-ish in a sense. This reminds me of Ghost in the Shell and the philosophical questions it presents. So yeah. And I like the supernatural element too. Gives it more weight, It may seem like it's a hodgepodge, but in reality, it seems to work together because it kind of begs the question: what makes the soul? Is it our experiences, our personality, everything in our mind or body or whatever? What happens when that's taken away and put in some sort of other facility, another container? In other words, I think in some sense they're trying to answer that question, and it's pretty good. I love it. I can't wait till the next one comes out. Anyway, this is JD Dishman, the Comic Otaku. Peace out, my fellow Comic Otakus. Well, you think I was going to say sign out? Well, see ya.